Hey, it's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how FICO scores are figured, and more importantly, I'm going to give you the points. I don't think anyone has ever broke it down this way, and one of my clients I was on the phone with, and I was like, hey, I know that your scores, like for your payments, it's 35% with this and 10% with that, but what is that exact number? You've probably been wondering that. Like, what is that exact number? Because it's just like a football game. You know, football just started back up and you got to get points to be able to win the game. The same thing works with your FICO score. You could be thinking you're doing all of the right things, and you're like, why isn't my score adding up? Well, let's get right into it, because I'm going to show you. It's like the details within the details about the scores. So here, the max score is 850 that you can get with your TransUnion Equifax Experian. That's the max FICO score. Now, we all know that 35% of your score is with the payment history and the public records. So one of the things that has happened with some of the clients who are kind of getting established and are like, hey, you know, we're coaching them on building their scores. And one of the things that I would see is that they don't have any history at all. They have no history at all. If you have no history at all, you can't even be in the game of the 297.5 points that is available to you in the FICO scoring system. And if you have payment history and no bad public record showing, you're going to be within the model of this possible 297.5% point payment history. Now, depending on what you've done with this payment history is going to factor in of how much of that max score that you can get. So just to clarify, this is a max score. So you have to play a game within this part of your credit reports to make sure that you can get the max score of 297.5 points. That means that your payments have to be on time. No public records. That you don't miss any payments. All of that has to be perfect for you to be able to get the max score of 297.5 points. Now, 30% is your outstanding debt owed. 255 max points. Now, take a look at this. This is going to be figured on your debt to income, but this is where I see most people make the mistake of not being able to maximize that 255 FICO points on their credit score is their utilization. How much of your credit cards, because this is where I see a lot of people get hit, is that they'll have let's just say, for example, a $1,000 available credit on the credit card, and they're using $800 of it. That $800 is going to work against you and hurt you with those points. But also, you will see that this point factor above all of the other ones is the one that fluctuates month to month, because you could have low debt one month where you paid down, because you're going to be paying down, like say for instance you got a car payment or you got a mortgage, you're going to actually be paying down that debt. So this debt to income would fluctuate unless you mess up on the other ones that I'm about to talk about. So this could actually be going down, and you can have a little bit of an uptick, and this is a max score. You can have an uptick to get you towards that 255. And in your utilization, even if you pay your cards off every month, if you don't pay them off by the statement date, that balance amount is going to be reported. So it'll still look like you have that balance when you carry it over. And then maybe you pay it off and you don't use it for 1 month, and you'll see that this will jump up. That's exactly what had happened to me, is that I had just, you know, I use my cards for business, and I paid them all off, and I didn't need to use them for anything. I had actually I was using them for renovation of my office building. So I had a high balance of like $100 and something thousand and then it went all the way down to zero. And when it got re-reported, my scores had jumped all the way up to 834 points. Okay, now the next one is 15%. How long have you had the account? That's worth up to 127.5 points on your credit score. So the longer you have those accounts, the better that's going to move you towards 127 of those max points. Now, the next one is 10%. The inquiries. Now, this is where if you don't have too many inquiries, you can move up on that max score of 85 points. But if you have too many inquiries, you're going to see that you're going to start dropping points from there. So even if you're doing everything the right way, but you're having too many inquiries, you're going to see that this is going to start minusing off of your max possible scores. So you could be doing everything right, and you're like wondering, hey, I'm paying everything, debt to income is good, but you're not following the rules of the algorithm, and maybe there's you need to get credit for something. So it's not to say that it's a bad thing. It's just that you need to understand how that could be working against you. The next one is the type of accounts. The type of accounts is worth 85 points. Obviously, credit card open type of accounts are going to really boost up your scores. Having a mortgage on your credit reports, but not having more than 2 mortgages on your credit reports. And that's going to work again up against your debt to income ratio and then your utilization. So you can see how all of this stuff kind of works together, because if you have credit card accounts and you're going to get a boost over here for them, but then the way that you use those accounts can pull down your scores over here. And then your payment history, if you mess up on them, it can pull down your scores here. So what you have to do to optimize your total max scores is that you have to pay attention to the game within the game. So again, the review: 297 points from your payment history, 255 points from your outstanding debt owed, 127.5 points from how long you've had the account, 85 points from the inquiries that you have, and another 85 points from the types of accounts that you have. Thank you for your time. I hope that this video was very instructional to you. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to get your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports, and all 3 scores, so you can start reviewing how you're using your credit, because this is the picture that you're painting about all of these key aspects about you with your credit reports and scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations, cease and desist collection activities letter, and debt validation letter. Those letters can save you time, money, and frustration. I do ask for a donation with those, but it is not required. But I do ask for that. It helps me monetize my time here making these videos. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. Please subscribe to the channel, share this video, post your questions and comments.